Well, hello. It's gray hat time, and I'm wanting to take the pain out of what people are experiencing with, let's call them celebrities or people who are um, figures in mainstream news. Now, we have got a huge conspiracy theory um, related to Donald Trump. It's called Qanon, and it has targeted a lot of these personalities, Hollywood people especially, saying that they're cannibals, that they're drinking children's blood, that they're killing people, that they're hiding people in tunnels and deep underground military bases or Epstein Islands kind of places. You've heard these things, I'm sure. Some people say you're crazy to pay attention, but some people are deeply embedded in this. It's a low vibration thing. Very low vibration. It's hate. It's hate. And we have to talk about it, because if we don't talk about hate, we're doing what's known as spiritual bypassing. We're bypassing something and saying, no, 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 it doesn't exist. Just because something is of a low vibration doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Or on the other way of saying it, hate exists on planet Earth today. I have a really hard time people say Tom Hanks is involved with horrible things in his real life. And, that comic pointed him out at some Hollywood thing, and everyone was going, oh, you see how they all reacted? I don't want to tell you that when Tom Hanks portrayed Mr. Rogers, he did an unbelievably fantastic job of a true, lovely human, Fred Rogers. And there's no way a demonic person could portray Fred Rogers that way. You might say, well, if he's good enough to portray Fred Rogers, he could portray a horrible version of the Joker. It's hatred. Hatred, hatred, hatred. And the people are not looking within themselves to see the hatred is within me. What they're doing is they're projecting it outward. This gray hat has got Molson Export as its sponsor. Molson Export is a Canadian ale. What happens if you drink too many ales? You get drunk. What happens when you get drunk? You lose consciousness. Some people drink so much they black out and they do things, and the next day people will say, you did this and you did that, and people look and say, I didn't do that. Too much alcohol. What's that got to do with things? This hat is you, no see me. What does it mean? I mean, you can see me. Who can't you see? You can't see what it's like to be someone who has been lied about in public by massive numbers of people who are spreading horrible stories about them, like Tom Hanks. Maybe you hate Donald Trump. Maybe you hated Hillary Clinton. Maybe you hate the people who invented the viruses that are making people sick. Does it mean people didn't invent viruses? No, it doesn't mean that at all. Do I believe that viruses are cooked up in a lab and released on the public? Does it matter to you? Are you going to hate me if I say yes? Are you going to hate me if I say no? Are you going to hate me if I refuse to have an opinion on it? Or I say, I just don't know? Are you going to hate me for any of those answers? Are you going to love me if I give you the right answer? I keep telling you, if you're a long-time viewer on my channels, to meditate. Because it's the only way you get to separate yourself from all of the things that are going on in your mind and in your body, and all the things that your senses are bringing to you. And you have to separate yourself from those things. Why? Because they're not you. And if you don't learn this skill, you're going to get carried away by all of these things that I just talked about. And you're going to be like the drunk person. You're not going to be conscious of the things that you're doing. I even see people who are in light worker groups who, there was one person today who had some really good information, really good. And then the next post, they had a horrible hatred on for one of these Hollywood celebrities. You have to let go of your hatred. Even if in the moment you feel hatred burning up through you because you heard a horrible story in the news or about someone you know that got horribly abused, and you feel horrible hatred for this, it just possesses you. You have to breathe and let the hatred go. You have to understand that being human on this planet means that from time to time you're going to hit the vibration of hatred. Because I get it. And then you have to let it go so that you can raise your vibration. Hatred is a very low vibration. You don't want to keep it around you. It's toxic. It's dangerous. So you have to let it go. Raise your vibration back up again. What about all these stories about QAnon and all of these horrible organized crime rings about human smuggling and hurting children? You have to be aware that these stories are going on. Some people want to move to Costa Rica and open a bed and breakfast and pretend that this isn't going on in the world. I know someone like this. They blocked me on Messenger because um, I wasn't into their particular version of religion. This person came and, was a new person in my life, and they stayed at my apartment. But when the time came, they said, you're presenting something to me that offends my religion. They had very high cognitive dissonance, which means they were so hung up on their religion, anything that doesn't fit in their religious box, they couldn't handle it, even though I was somebody that, opened up my home to them. They were not doing meditation to see that their religion had become them. And it was more important to them than one of their friends. If you get hit by hatred, or if you feel hatred to others, remember it is either the other person is being possessed at that moment by hatred, or you are. Forgive it all. Let it go. That's what it means. Let it go. It's toxic. Raise your vibration. Meditate. Remember, higher vibration is love, unconditional love, even for the hater and the hatee.